The Gir Forest, located in the western Indian state of Gujarat, is one of the last strongholds of the Asiatic lion, a majestic species found only in this region. For centuries, the lions of Gir have coexisted with the local populations, revered as symbols of strength and beauty. However, in the late 20th century, this fragile relationship was shattered when some of these lions developed a taste for human flesh. What followed was a reign of terror that gripped the villages surrounding the Gir Forest, where the mighty lions that were once admired became feared as deadly predators.
The first signs of trouble emerged quietly. In the early 1990s, villagers reported missing cattle, a common occurrence in the Gir region. However, this time something was different. Soon after, the body of a young man was found on the outskirts of the forest, his remains clearly bearing the marks of a lion attack. Initially, authorities believed it was a tragic but isolated incident. But when more bodies began to turn up, each mutilated in a similar fashion, panic spread through the villages. The lions were no longer simply hunting livestock. They had developed a terrifying new prey: humans.
Unlike typical lion behavior, these attacks were frequent and brazen. The lions responsible had developed an unsettling pattern. They stalked the villages at night, attacking lone villagers who strayed too close to the forest's edge or those returning home late. The lions dragged the victims into the forest, leaving behind little more than scattered bones and bloody remnants. The villagers were paralyzed with fear. For generations, they had lived near the lions without serious incident, but now these predators seemed to have no boundaries. It wasn't just one lion, multiple lions were involved, working together, displaying an uncharacteristic boldness and aggression.
The growing number of deaths sent shockwaves through the communities surrounding Gir Forest. Farmers were afraid to tend their fields, children were kept inside after dark, and villagers built makeshift barricades around their homes in the hopes of keeping the lions at bay. Local authorities, overwhelmed by the scale of the problem, initially struggled to respond. These were not ordinary lions, they were skilled hunters, and their familiarity with the local terrain made them difficult to track. The authorities knew that they had to act quickly before more lives were lost, but they faced the difficult task of eliminating lions that were part of a protected and revered species.
As the death toll mounted, the Gujarat Forest Department and local hunters launched an aggressive campaign to capture or kill the man-eating lions. Armed with rifles and tranquilizer darts, hunters ventured deep into the Gir Forest, hoping to stop the attacks. The hunt, however, was not without danger. The lions were intelligent, elusive, and often hunted in groups, ambushing those who tried to corner them. Several hunts ended in failure, with the lions either evading capture or attacking the hunters. The tension in the villages grew unbearable as the man-eaters continued their reign of terror. The once revered lions of Gir had now become objects of dread.
The turning point came after weeks of relentless searching. The hunters finally cornered one of the man-eating lions deep in the heart of the Gir Forest. What followed was a fierce and dangerous confrontation. The lion, massive and enraged, charged at the hunters, forcing them to defend themselves. After a tense and bloody fight, the lion was killed, but the threat was far from over. It took several more weeks before the remaining members of the pride were tracked down and neutralized. By the end of the hunt, nearly a dozen lions had been captured or killed. It was a hard-fought victory, but one that came with a heavy cost, both in human lives and in the loss of several lions.
Even after the attacks had stopped, questions remained. What had caused these lions to become man-eaters? Some experts believed that a combination of factors was to blame. The growing human population around Gir Forest had led to increased deforestation, shrinking the lions' natural habitat and pushing them closer to human settlements. Additionally, a decline in the lion's natural prey, such as deer and wild boar, may have driven them to seek out easier targets: humans. Others speculated that disease or injury may have made these lions incapable of hunting their usual prey, forcing them to turn to humans for sustenance. The truth may never be fully known, but the legacy of the man-eating lions of Gir Forest has left a lasting mark on the region.
Following the elimination of the man-eating lions, life in the villages surrounding Gir Forest slowly returned to normal. The lions were once again seen as majestic but dangerous creatures to be respected from a distance. The authorities implemented stricter conservation measures to better manage the interaction between humans and lions, ensuring that such a tragedy would not repeat itself. Today, the Asiatic lions of Gir Forest remain a protected species, and efforts continue to balance conservation with the safety of the human population. However, the memory of those terrifying months, when the king of the jungle turned man-eater, lingers in the minds of the villagers who survived.
The story of the man-eating lions of Gir Forest continues to captivate and terrify people to this day. While lions are typically admired for their strength and grace, the tale of the man-eater serves as a reminder of nature's unpredictability and the fragile balance between humans and wildlife. The attacks that took place in the 1990s remain one of the most infamous cases of man-eating lions in modern history, adding a dark chapter to the otherwise celebrated story of the Asiatic lions. The mystery of why these lions turned to hunting humans may never be fully solved, but their legacy is a chilling testament to the power and danger that lurks within the wild.